Good afternoon to all. I hope everyone are happy. Today I would like to start my class with a famous quote, that is, mathematics is the queen of all sciences and arithmetic is the queen of mathematics. Here arithmetics I am using the word because it is the subject where we will be using in mathematics in many concepts, and it is also one of the branch of mathematics. And along with arithmetics, we are also having other branches like algebra, geometry, trigonometry, calculus. So today we are going to learn and discuss about a small concept from calculus, that is differentiation. The most essential important concept in calculus is differentiation. Here in calculus we are having many topics, but every topic is interlinked with the differentiation. So what is the meaning of differentiation? The process to find out the derivatives of various functions with respect to its variables is called as derivative. I used the word derivative. So the process of finding derivative of various functions is called as differentiation. So what is the meaning of derivative here? The rate of change in one quantity with respect to other quantity is called as derivative, or we can also say the rate of change of a particular function with respect to its variable is also called as derivative. Specifically, when we talk about the function, the rate of change of that particular function is denoted as dy by dx, or else we can also generally will write functions as f of x and will denote it as f dash of x. So this is the main concept of derivative. Anything if it changes, suppose if I am taking y is equal to x square. In this equation y is equal to x square, the value of y depends upon the value of x. As keep on changing the x value, y value also changes. Now let us all discuss how to find the derivatives. There are two methods, children, in finding the derivatives. The first method is using the first principle, and the second method is using some standard formulae and using the algebraic properties on differentiable functions. We are going to find the derivatives. So let us all discuss together how to find the derivatives using the first principle. So before that, we have to know what is first principle. So let us consider, let f of x be a continuous function. Let f of x be a continuous function on R or any interval, let us take it as R. Now consider y is equal to f of x. Here the value of the function depends upon the value of x what we are taking. As x changes, y also changes. So for instance, let us consider delta x be a small increment, delta x be a small increment in x. Students, here increment I am using the word. Here increment means it is a small change, the rate of change. It may increase or it may decrease. When delta x be a small increment in x, then corresponding increment in y is delta y. As I said, when x changes, y also changes. Now we will see y is equal to f of x is going to become y plus delta y is equal to f of x plus delta x. Now delta y is equal to f of x plus delta x. I am sending y that side, so it is going to become minus y. Now divide both the sides with delta x. Delta y by delta x is equal to f of x plus delta x minus y divided by delta x. It means what? I am doing some modification in order to derive the first principle. So this process of deriving itself is called as differentiation. Now apply limit on both sides, as limit delta x tends to 0, delta y by delta x is equal to limit delta x tends to 0 f of x plus delta x minus y divided by delta x. Now both the sides I applied limit delta x tends to 0. And here limit delta x tends to 0, delta y by delta x can be written as dy by dx, which is equal to limit delta x tends to 0 f of x plus delta x minus y by delta x. So this dy by dx is equal to limit delta x tends to 0 f of x plus delta x minus y by delta x itself is called as our first principle of derivative, first principle in differentiation. Children, here I want to give you a clarity. So many students will confuse that delta x is equal to delta multiplied by x. That is completely wrong assumption. Similarly, delta y is equal to delta into y. It is also completely wrong assumption, because delta x itself a single value. Similarly, delta y also a single value. And here also dy by dx is not at all equal to dy divided by dx, because here dy by dx is called derivative of y with respect to x, or else we can also call it as differentiation of y with respect to x. When we write in other format, dy by dx is equal to limit h tends to 0. As I said, delta x is a single value. I am replacing delta x with h. H tends to 0 f of x plus h minus f of x. Here what is the modification I did? Can anyone notice here? First I written like a y. Now I am substituting y with the f of x. So limit h tends to 0 f of x plus h minus f of x by h. So this is our first principle. So here dy by dx is called as an operator. We will call it as an operator, and this operator we are going to use in many of the applications in various aspects. So when we see the definition, here f be a function and let a point be there in a domain of f. If the limit is existing, then we call it as f dash of a is equal to limit h tends to 0 f of a plus h minus f of a by h. Here I am replacing x with a. It might be any variable here. Then if this is existing, then we say that the function is differentiable at the point a, and f dash of a is called as a derivative of a at a point a. So this is the definition. This definition itself we will call it as a first principle, children. So this first principle now we are going to use to find the derivatives of many functions. So in the process, first we will find the derivative of algebraic functions, then we will move to trigonometric functions. Now first we will write it here. What is our first principle? F dash of x is equal to limit h tends to 0 f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. Now this is our first principle. So this f dash of x, we can also write it as dy by dx. We can also write it as y dash. Any notations we can use in differentiation. Now let us take one example. F of x is equal to 4x plus 3. I took an algebraic expression. Now using this algebraic expression, we are going to find derivative of 4x plus 3 using the first principle. Simple, children, all of you keep it in your mind. Whenever we are taking the algebraic expressions, it might be any expression, a linear monomial or a binomial or a trinomial or having the second degree, third degree, fourth degree. Rule is same. First f of x value as it is we are having. See the first principle, we need to find f of x plus h value. So f of x plus h is equal to, x plus h means what? This is the rate of change. So substitute in place of x, x plus h. 4 into x plus h plus 3, which is equal to 4x plus 4h plus 3. Now we got the value of f of x plus h. Now substitute f of x plus h value and f of x value in our first principle, which is going to become f dash of x is equal to limit h tends to 0. F of x plus h means 4x plus 4h plus 3 minus of f of x means 4x plus 3 divided by h. Hope you understood, children, where I substituted the values. Now, limit h tends to 0, 4x plus 4h plus 3 minus 4x minus 3 by h. Remove the brackets and multiply with the negative symbol. Now, plus 4x minus 4x plus 3 minus 3 will get cancelled. Now, what is left over? Limit h tending to 0, 4h by h. Now, tell me anything, can we get cancelled again here? H and h also will get cancelled. Now, limit h tending to 0, there is nothing, there is no h to substitute the value. So, what is left over? 4 is left over. So, derivative of 4x plus 3 is 4. Now, one more example we will see so that you will understand clearly. Now, if you see one more example, I am taking f of x is equal to x cube minus 27. Now, what is the next step we have to find? F of x plus h value. F of x plus h is equal to, substitute in place of x, x plus h. X plus h whole cube minus 27. Now, x plus h whole cube is exactly like an algebraic identity. Children, when we are using the algebraic expressions, compulsory you must make use of algebraic identities which you have learnt in your school time. So, it is looking like a plus b whole cube. So, split like the formula, a cube plus 3a square b plus 3ab square plus b cube minus 27. Now, this is the value of f of x plus h. Now, both the values will substitute in our first principle. So, f dash of x is equal to limit h tends to 0. F of x plus h means x cube plus 3x square h plus 3x h square plus h cube minus 27. Now, minus f of x. Minus f of x means minus of x cube minus 27, right? So, directly I am not keeping again brackets because already one problem we finished. So, minus of f of x means symbols will change here, minus x cube plus 27 divided by h. Now, see, any terms will get cancelled. If you see plus x cube minus x cube plus 27 minus 27 will get cancelled. Now, what is left over, ma? Limit h tends to 0, 3x square h plus 3x h square plus h cube by h. If you notice in the numerator, every term is having h. So, take h as a common factor. So, limit h tends to 0. If I am taking h out, 3x square, 3xh plus h square by h. Now, what can I do? Can I cancel anything again? If you see numerator and denominator, h also I can get cancelled. Now, directly apply h value in our expression. If you apply, 3x square remains as it is. The next two terms are going to become 0. Here 3xh, h square, both of them are going to become 0. Now, leftover one is 3x square. What is the 3x square? Now, the 3x square is the derivative of x cube minus 27. So, like this, we can find the derivative of any algebraic expression using the first principle. But did you notice one thing is important here? You need to get your algebraic identities. Then only we can able to split the terms. Now, we will move to one more example like trigonometric functions. Children, when we talk about the functions, we are having many types like algebraic functions, trigonometric functions, composite functions, logarithmic functions, exponential functions, etc. Now, we will move to one more example. Let us take f of x is equal to sin x. Everybody knows sin x, cos x, tan x, cosecant x. These are the trigonometric functions. Now, f of x is equal to sin x. It might be algebraic or it might be trigonometric. Our procedure won't change. What is the next step? F of x plus h. Now, f of x plus h is equal to sin of x plus h. Simple, in x place I am substituting with x plus h. Now, both the values will apply in our first principle. F dash of x is equal to limit h tends to 0 sin of x plus h minus sin x divided by h. Now, here again we have to remember one more concept. If you see the numerator, it is looking like exactly sin c minus sin d. Is it not? This one I am considering it as c, x as d. It is exactly looking like sin c minus sin d. So, what is the formula for sin c minus sin d? In which concept we will get this formula? We will get these type of formulas in our trigonometry. So, sin c minus sin d formula is 2 cos c plus d by 2 sin c minus d by 2. Now, if you want to write, you write it again separately. C value is x plus h, d value is x. Now, in the first principle, instead of writing the numerator, I am going to convert according to the formula. So, here children, if you don't want to do directly, before only you solve what is the value of c plus d here. C plus d means add both the terms x plus h and x. So, you are going to get 2x plus h. Now, c minus d. C minus d means subtract both the expressions, x and x will get cancelled, h. So, you can write it before. Now, directly we will substitute all the values. Now, if you substitute there, limit h tends to 0, 2 cos 2x plus h by 2 sin c minus d. C minus d means h by 2 divided by h. Students, here many children will confuse of writing. They forgot to write the denominator h, because here denominators are there. Generally, they will forget to write the h value. So, always remember, when you are applying the trigonometric functions, you need to be very careful in writing the denominator h value. Now, limit h tends to 0, 2 cos, here 2x plus h by 2 is there. Now, here this denominator 2 distribute to both the terms, 2x as well as h. So, I am going to get x plus h by 2. Did you understand how did I get x plus h by 2 here? When I distribute 2 to 2x, 2 and 2 will get cancelled. X is left over, h by 2 is as it is. Now, sin h by 2 divided by h. Now, some modification again we have to do it here. That is, limit h tends to 0, 2 cos x plus h by 2 2 cos x plus h by 2 multiplied by limit h tends to 0 sin h by h into 1 by 2. Now, observe the difference between the last step and this step. Here, the product of two functions we are having. When a product of two functions when we have, we can supply the limit for both the functions separately. And one more change what I did here, sin h by 2 is there. H by 2 means what? H into 1 by 2. It means 1 by 2 is a coefficient of h. So, I am writing as sin h. This denominator I am distributing to h sin function. I am not keeping to cos function. So, what is the reason? You may get a doubt, madam, we can keep h value for cos function also. Why can't we keep for cos function? Why are you keeping to sin function? You may get a doubt. I will say for you what is the reason behind that. Now, apply limit h value here. 2 cos x plus 0 into, now limit h tends to 0, sin h by h value is 1. That is the property we are having. So, this value is going to become 1. That is the reason denominator h I am writing with the sin function. So, 1 multiplied by 1 by 2. Now, this 2 and 2 will get cancelled. What is left over? Cos x plus 0 means x. So, I got it as cos x. Now, initially we took the function f of x is equal to sin x. But we got f dash of x is equal to cos x. So, what did you understood from both of this? It means derivative of sin x is cos x. So, this is all the procedure we are doing. This process of finding the derivative itself is called as our differentiation. So, one more example also we will solve, children, because we are having many modifications when we are doing with trigonometric functions. So let us take one more example as f of x is equal to cos x. First one we finished, f of x is equal to sin x. Next, f of x is equal to cos x. What is the next step? F of x plus h. Cos of x plus h. Now our first principle. So what is the first principle? F dash of x is equal to limit h tends to 0 f of x plus h. F of x plus h means what? Cos of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. This is our first principle. Now before like before problem, numerator we are converting into other formula. So can you guess which formula we are going to use now? Just you recall your trigonometry formula and tell me numerator which formula we can use here. It is looking like cos c minus cos d, right? Before sin c minus sin d, here cos c minus cos d, same concept. But the formula will be minus 2 sin c plus d by 2 sin c minus d by 2. Now tell me children, what is c value here? C value is x plus h, d value is x. C plus d, anyway we need to find c plus d and c minus d. So c plus d become x plus x 2x plus h and c minus d is going to become your h. Now substitute all the values in the first principle. It will become limit h tends to 0 cos c minus cos d. Instead of this we are going to apply in the formula minus 2 sin c plus d by 2 2x plus h by 2 sin c minus d by 2 means h by 2 divided by h. Now I am going to skip one or two steps because same like sine function only the modifications we are going to have. See what I am doing. Limit h tends to 0 minus 2 sin of x plus h by 2 into limit h tends to 0 sin h by h multiplied by 1 by 2. Did you understand what is the modification I did here? Same like here 2 I am distributing for both the functions 2x as well as x. So when I distribute 2 and 2 will get cancelled. X is left over in first term. Second term there is no cancellation, directly h by 2 is left over. And second modification is I am writing the denominator h to sine function, sin h by h. Third modification is this h by 2 having the quotient as 1 by 2. That 1 by 2 I am writing it as separately. What is the fourth modification? I applied the limit for both the functions together. So whenever you get the problem in the examination children, depending upon the number of marks, you must modify the question. If the question is given for 2 marks, you no need to write, you no need to elaborate all the steps. Directly you can write it here. If the same question is given for 4 marks, before problem how did we solve? We are writing all the steps. So in the same manner you must elaborate. Now apply the limit here. Minus 2 into sin of x plus 0. So as I already said, limit h tends to 0, sin h by h value is 1. So 1 no need to write, multiplied by 1 by 2 and 2 will get cancelled. I got minus sin x. So what is this minus sin x? Minus sin x is derivative of cos x. Derivative of sin x is cos x, derivative of cos x is minus sin x. So using the first principle we are finding now till now. So last example in the first part I want to teach for you tan x also. The reason is sin x and cos x will come the process same. The way of doing, way of finding the derivative is same. Whereas for tan x the process of doing will be little bit different. So let us see. F of x is equal to tan x. F dash of x will become tan of x plus h. Now, sorry children, f of x plus h. Now f of x plus h will become tan of x plus h. Now write directly, f dash of x is equal to tan of x plus h minus tan x divided by h. So according to the first principle, f dash of x is equal to limit h tending to 0 tan of x plus h. It means f of x plus h minus f of x by h. Now like before problem, sin c minus sin d, cos c minus cos d, I am not going to take, because here we are having the very simplest way of simplification. We are having a logic here. Everybody know tan can be written as sin by cos. The ratio of sin and cos gives us tan value. So I am converting it as limit h tends to 0 sin x plus h by cos x plus h minus sin x by cos x completely whole divided by h. So this entire part comes under numerator, children. Don't confuse with the numerator and denominator. This completely we are converting tan value into sin and cos. Now observe the step and tell me, just you imagine what is the modification I am doing. Looking at the step itself you will understand. Sin of x plus h into cos x minus cos of x plus h multiplied by sin x divided by cos x plus h into cos x completely divided by h. Now did you notice what is the difference? What modification I did here? For the numerator, I am taking the LCM here. I am taking the LCM for the numerator. So if I take the LCM, cos x plus h and cos x will become the LCM. So numerator will become sin x plus h into cos x, sin x into cos x plus h. Now observe again. It is looking just like sin A cos B minus cos A sin B, which is equal to sin A minus B. Again we are using the trigonometry formula. Sin A cos B. It means this value I am taking it as A and this value I am taking it as B. So sin A cos B minus cos A sin B by cos x plus h by cos x as it is divided by h. So this value I can write it as sin of A plus B. So in A place I am having x plus h, in B place I am having x. Now substitute the values in the formula. So I am going to get f dash of x is equal to limit h tends to 0. Now if I substitute sin x plus h minus x divided by cos of x plus h into cos x, this completely comes under numerator divided by h. Now tell me, anything will get cancelled again here? X and x will get cancelled. Now this step we can write it as directly limit h tends to 0 sin h is left over, no beta? So sin h by, now this h I am writing here. Here I will show you one more modification. Instead of writing here denominator h every time, directly we can remove and we can also write it as 1 by h. Both are same, both comes under same meaning. So now this denominator h I am writing with the sign value into limit h tends to 0. Now this entire value completed, we took already. So what is left over? 1 is left over. 1 by cos x plus h multiplied by cos x. Now tell me, what is this value? This is the third problem we are discussing, same property. Limit h tends to 0, sin h by h value is 1. So 1 multiplied by this. So now you apply limit h tends to 0 here. We are going to get 1 by cos x multiplied by cos x, right? Because h value already 0 we will replace. Now cos x into cos x, 1 by cos square x. Now what is the reciprocal of cos square x? Reciprocal of cos square x is secant square x. What is that secant square x? That is the derivative of tan x. So f of x is equal to, we took tan x, but we got f dash of x as secant square x. Hope you are getting, children. We are substituting all formulae here. Just we are substituting the formulas and we are Simplifying. So the entire doing the modifications and simplifying everything comes under our process. So the process of finding the derivatives is called as once again differentiation. Now this is our first part. In the first part what we find, we are finding the derivatives of algebraic expressions as well as trigonometric functions. There were so many functions. For your only understanding purpose, I am taking only 3 examples. So by using the first principle, we can find the derivatives in this method. The second method we are having is, there are some standard formulae, there are some standard notations. So we can also use those standard notation and we can find the derivatives of different functions. Now if you see here, I want to say a clear clarification about the notations. If you see notations, children, first one, dy by dx is we can read that dy by dx as differentiation of y with respect to x. Suppose if I am changing the variable dy by dt, what is the dy by dt? Here also we are differentiating y, but with respect to t. Suppose if you see the last one, dm by dz, differentiation of m with respect to z. So directly using the symbolic notation, we can understand we are differentiating with which term with respect to which variable. And next, now for the gap, let us all discuss for a while where we will use the calculus in our real life. Children, whenever we are learning any subject, first of all, everybody should know what is the purpose of learning so and so concept. Is there any use in our real life or not? So if we go on discussing, entire world is full of mathematics. There is a quotation also like, mathematics is a language with which God has written the universe. You know, all this is a beautiful quote which I like. So when we think about the quote, it is exactly 100% true. If you see the example, this slide, children, now today our concept is in calculus. Calculus we can use in space, like finding the position of the stars. And if you see the next slide, calculus we can also use in Navy. And next one, calculus we can also use in Air Force. Calculus we can also use in medicine. Now next one, which we are very much interested, calculus can also be used in sports, like finding the pitch of the ball where the wickets are placed. This is a small example I am giving for you. Next, calculus will be used in construction. Major part of the calculus will also be used in different architectures, like construction of buildings, dams, bridges, any historical monuments. The people will be used calculus. Next one, calculus in human body. What is human body? Where do we use? So taking out the x-rays, taking out the scannings, taking the CT scan, like MRI scan, many scannings we will be using the calculus. That is the reason here I mentioned calculus in human body. It means many tests. Next, calculus in satellite communication. Everybody know these generation children, satellite communication is what? Like all the cell towers will be placed. Did you observe any time upon the buildings? There were many cell towers will be placed upon the buildings. So all this comes under satellite communication. Our dish channels, our TV channels and our studio channels also comes under satellite communication. So our concept, today's concept will be used in satellite communication also. Next one, in manufacturing companies, and many manufacturing companies will be taking the properties of calculus in production of the goods. Next, and apart from this, there are other many examples like electronics, physics and chemistry, biology, zoology, everywhere we will be using the calculus. Now come to the second part. These are the standard formulae. There were many standard formulae actually. So today we will be taking only 5 to 6 standard formulae and we are going to find the derivatives using the second method. First method already we finished using the first principle. Using the first principle, how to find the derivatives. Now second method is using the derivatives, same derivatives we are finding, but by using the standard formulae and algebraic properties on differentiable functions. Algebraic properties means you must understand, like the properties comes under addition, subtraction and multiplication and division rule. Now let us see what are they. Now, before we start that, just we'll write few standard notations. Now, dA by dx of c. C indicates constant. So, derivative of any constant is 0. Now, d by dx of x to the power of n into x to the power of n minus 1, d by dx of a to the power of x, a power x into log a, d by dx of e to the power of x. Exponential function is a different type of derivative. Derivative of exponential function is itself. Now, d by dx of log x is 1 by x. D by dx of sin x. Just now we discussed it, ma. What is the derivative of sin x? It is cos x. So, similarly, d by dx of cos x is minus sin x. So, these standard formulas we will be using now for finding the derivatives. In that, the first rule is u plus or minus dash of x. It means in algebraic properties, first we are doing with addition and subtraction. That is u plus or minus v dash of x. When we are derivating any algebraic expression, we have to find the derivatives independently for all the terms in the expression. The algebraic expression may contain 3 terms or 4 terms or 2 terms. So, individually we have to find the derivative. So, that is the rule 1. So, solving by using this property, we will see few examples. If you see the example 1, f of x is equal to root x plus 2x to the power of 3 by 4 plus 3x to the power of 5 by 6. I took an example. Now, we are going to find derivative of this algebraic expression using this property as well as using the standard formula. Here, f of x is equal to root x I gave. Root x, can I write x to the power of 1 by 2? Right. Plus 2 into x to the power of 3 by 4 plus 3 into x to the power of 5 by 6. First step, I change root x as x power 1 by 2. Here, for root x children, there is a formula directly. Derivative of root x is 1 by 2 root x. We can also use directly root x formula, or else we can also use in this method. Now, f dash of x is equal to, I already said, no, we have to do differentiation for every term. So, d by dx of x to the power of 1 by 2 plus d by dx of 2 into x to the power of 3 by 4 plus d by dx of 3 into x to the power of 5 by 6. Every term I am doing the differentiation. Now, if you see the first one, it is looking like x to the power of 1 by 2, 2 into x power 3 by 4, 3 into x power 5 by 6. If you see, for every variable there is a power. Did you notice that? For every variable there is a power. And if you see in the standard formula, our exact problem is related to this formula. D by dx of x to the power of n, which is equal to n into x to the power of n minus 1. Here all your powers are the value of n. Now substitute. Direct formula you take. N into x to the power of n minus 1, first one, plus, here 2 is a constant children, we will take it out. You may get a doubt here, madam, you said constant derivative is 0. Then why are you not taking 0 here? Children, let me give the clarification. Here 2 multiplied by, here 2 is not the independent term, 2 is the coefficient of x. Whenever the problem is laid like this in this format, 2 will comes out of derivation, like 2 into the derivative of x we will be finding. So, 2 into x to the power of 3 by 4, it means x to the power of n. 2 multiplied by 3 by 4 into x to the power of n minus 1, n means 3 by 4. Plus, what is the next term? 3 into x power 5 by 6. It means 3 into 5 by 6 into x to the power of 5 by 6 minus 1. Now, if anything will get cancelled, we can cancel here. 2 ones are 2 twos are, 3 ones are 3 twos are. Now, see 1 by 2 into x to the power of minus 1 by 2 plus 3 by 2 into x to the power of minus 1 by 4 plus 5 by 2 into x to the power of minus 1 by 6. Among these three terms, children, how did I get minus 1 by 2, minus 1 by 4, minus 1 by 6? From where did I get these values? If you simplify all the powers, 1 by 2 minus 1, 3 by 4 minus 1, 5 by 6 minus 1, I am going to get minus 1 by 2 minus 1 by 4 minus 1 by 6. And what is common denominator? What is the common in all the three terms? The common denominator is 2. So, we can take 1 by 2 as common, x power minus 1 by 2 plus 3x to the power of minus 1 by 4 plus 5x to the power of minus 1 by 6. So, this is the derivative of our function. So, this is a way, this is the other process of finding the derivatives using our standard formula. One more example we will see. If you see the another example, f of x is equal to x square minus 3 multiplied by 4x cube plus 1. Did you find any difference in the question? If you see, children, there is a lot of difference. Before question, we took an algebraic expression directly in a standard form. But now I am taking as product of two terms I am taking. So, whenever product of two terms we are having, we can solve the problem in two different methods. Like first principle is separate. Here also we can simplify the product, then we can apply the rule u plus or minus v dash of rule, or else directly we are having another method like UV method, which we are going to discuss in the next step. So, now what I am doing? I am going to simplify now. X square into 4x cube plus 1 minus 3 into 4x cube plus 1. Everybody know how to multiply the product of two terms, right? Now, 4x to the power of 5 plus x square minus 12x cube minus 3. Now, I got a standard form. Now, directly we will find the derivative of each term. D by dx of 4x to the power of 5 plus d by dx of x square minus d by dx of 12x cube minus d by dx of 3. Now see, d by dx of 4x to the power of 5. Whenever a numerical coefficient is there, keep in your mind that coefficient will come outside. So, 4 is separate. 4 multiplied by x to the power of 5. Again, x to the power of 5 is looking like x to the power of n. It means n into x to the power of n minus 1. What is n value here? N value is 5. So, 5 into x to the power of n minus 1. 5 minus 1. That is 5 into x to the power of 4 plus d by dx of x square. X square again it is looking like x power n. 2 into x to the power of 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. So, no need to write specifically. Minus 12 into x cube. X cube derivative is now x to the power of 3. X to the power of 3 means 3 into x to the power of 3 minus 1. It comes like x square. Now, children, d by dx of 3. Like before problem I said, no, you will confuse that where a constant is there, why not 0. If you see here, 3 is completely independent term. It is not related to any of the variable. Completely it is a constant. So, in this case, derivative of constant is 0. So, we no need to replace. 0 no need to write separately. So, derivative of d by dx of 3 will become 0. Now, 4 5s are 20 x to the power of 4 plus 2x minus 36 x square. So, this is the derivative of our function f of x. So, first I multiplied every terms. Then I am finding the derivative for each and every term applying the standard formula. Did you notice many of the times when we are doing algebraic expressions, we are using x power n formula. Now, next one. So, any algebraic expression is given, we have to follow the same rule. Derivative of each and every term we have to find. Now, the next rule is UV rule. We will call it as UV rule. UV method means product of two terms. So, u into v dash of x plus v into u dash of x. It means we are doing the differentiation for v term plus again next to u term. It means any case, vice versa. Now take one example. If I take the example, e power x, f of x is equal to e to the power of x into x square plus 1. I am taking f of x is equal to e power x into x square plus 1. Now take this as u, take this as v. So simple children, f dash of x is equal to what I said, u into, it means e power x into d by dx of x square plus 1 plus v into, v means second term, x square plus 1 into d by dx of e to the power of x. Hope you understood the step. U into derivative of v term, second term, plus second term into finding differentiation for the first term. Now, e power x into, here we are finding derivative of two terms again. It means first rule we are using. Now, derivative of two terms means for each term we have to find the derivative. Derivative of x square is 2x. Derivative of constant, next one plus 1, constant will become 0 plus x square plus 1 into derivative of e power x. Derivative of e power x is e to the power of x itself. If you see, e power x is common in both the terms. So, if I am taking e to the power of x common, 2x plus x square plus 1. So, this can be written as e power x into x plus 1 whole square. So, this is the way we can find the derivatives of any terms when it is like a product notation. U into v. The last example we will see here. 5 power x next problem, f of x is equal to 5 to the power of x plus log x plus x cube e to the power of x. If you see this example, 5 power x plus log x plus x cube e power x. This example why I am taking is, here we are utilizing two rules. First rule as well as second rule. F dash of x is equal to d by dx of 5 to the power of x plus d by dx of log x plus d by dx of x cube e to the power of x. Now see children, d by dx of 5 power x is exactly looking like d by dx of a to the power of x. So, that formula if you convert in a place, we are having 5 here. 5 power x log a means log 5. Now, d by dx of log x, d by dx of log x formula is directly 1 by x. 1 by x. Here I want to give one more clarification. When we are finding derivative here, we are finding derivative for log x. For complete function we are finding. For log x, the derivative is 1 by x. So, we have to find derivative of x also here. So, when we are finding derivative of x children, remember d by dx of x will be 1. So, no need to write specifically here, but we need to find. Log x derivative is 1 by x, for x is 1 plus derivative of x power 3 into e to the power of x. Again apply UV rule here. U into d by dx of v plus v into d by dx of u. So, for the first two terms we are using first rule, for the third term we are using UV method. Now, 5 to the power of x into log 5 plus 1 by x plus x power 3 into e power x plus e power x into, now what is the derivative of x cube? Here derivative of e power x I said, no, this is a special case, derivative of e power x is e power x only. Now e power x into derivative of x cube is 3x square. Which formula we are using again? X to the power of n formula we are using. So 5 power x into log 5 plus 1 by x plus, if you see in both the terms we are having common e to the power of x. X cube plus 3x square. So this is the way we can find the derivatives. Sometimes combination of 2 or 3 rules also we will be using. So today's class, what all the things we discussed? First we discussed about the differentiation. It means the process to find the derivatives of various functions with respect to its various variables is called as differentiation. Next we discussed about first principle. What is first principle? Derivation of first principle and finding the derivatives of algebraic terms using first principle, finding derivatives of trigonometric function using the first principle. And next we came to the task how to find the derivatives using the second method, that is directly using algebraic properties on the differentiable functions. And using these properties we are finding. So when we are using the algebraic properties, children, direct standard formulas we can use and we can substitute. So the next concept we also discussed where we will be using the calculus in our real life. Today's class is entirely the basic concept for your differentiation. If you know these basic concepts, then only the application of derivatives and in your second year integrations and differential equations you people will be able to understand. So I want to give you a small work that each one you take, each standard formula you take, create like 2 or 3 examples on your own, solve it on your own. When you are solving on your own, children, then only you people can be able to memorize the formula here. When you know the formula in differentiation, then only you people can able to find the derivatives. So thank you so much. In the next class we are going to continue the further topics.